all, I think, as you can all tell by my accent, I am Spanish. I've been in the UK for 18 years now. I still speak like this. There's no way of getting rid of my accent. But hey, as long as everyone understands, if you don't understand anything I'm saying, or if you have a question, or if you would like to say something, please feel free to interrupt at any given moment. And I don't know, this feels a bit intimidating because I wouldn't have thought that people would be interested in my journey with photography, but I'm very, very happy to share with you all. So, well, I guess like many people here, my journey started when I was a kid, and I've always liked photography. I'm 44 years old. So I was back then, when I was a little child, I was the only one usually with a camera. No one else had a camera generally. I mean, if we were to go to a summer camp, for example, I'd be the only one with a camera and just take photos. If I was lucky, I would have a roll of 36, and that felt like, wow, a lot. It was my passion. I've always liked it. I would take photos of people. I've never been into landscapes or still life or architecture. Like I know many of you here are super experts in that. I'm not good at any of that. But people, I've always liked photographing people. So I've always been very artistically inclined, so to speak. So I've always enjoyed anything to do with arts, painting, theater, drama, all of that. My parents didn't think that was a proper job or a proper thing for someone to study. So when my time came to go to university, I don't want to say I wasn't allowed to choose what I really wanted, but also, I didn't want to disappoint my parents, I guess. So I went and did what clever people do, and I went and studied biology. So I did a master's degree in biology. Came to the UK. I'm going to try it. I don't want to extend too much, and I don't want to also be too fast or too slow. So just, I hope this is okay. So anyway, I came to the UK in 2004. And in theory, it was just for 1 year to study English and to learn a bit of the language and the culture and so on. And so, I started working in, temporary jobs and so on. And I was working in an office, and I heard there was a photography course in the college where we live. We live in Bracknell. So it's called Bracknell and Wokingham College. And they were doing some photography courses. So I think it was the City and Guilds. So I thought I'll come along and see what they had to offer. They had an open day. So I went to the open day, and there was this lovely gentleman, and he was explaining to me about the courses that we're offering and so on. And I don't know how I mentioned that I was a biologist. And he said, oh, my wife works in a microbiology lab, and I think they're looking for someone. Would you be interested? And I was pleasantly surprised. I said, oh, yeah, sure. So I went, I did an interview, and I got a job as a microbiologist in a lab. I don't know how many of you here know Peter Askew. That's how I found out about this group. But anyway, he was my boss in the lab. He's a very enthusiastic photographer as well. So I started working in his lab, and I loved it. I really liked it, but not as much as I liked photography. So I was still doing some weddings on the side on the weekends and so on. I was still carrying my camera everywhere with me, taking photos of daily life. Really, I have photos of almost every single day of my life. I bought my first digital camera in 2004, which is when I got married, and it's when we came to England. So since then, I've always had a camera with me. What else? So anyway, after a few years, I was still enjoying my work in the lab, but there was a lot going on in my personal life and so on. And so partly because of that, and partly because I thought if I don't try and pursue photography now, it might never happen. So my husband and I spoke, and we decided that I would leave the job, the very secure job, very well-paid job, very stable job, and just venture myself in the unknown world of photography. Looking back, I should have done a lot of things differently, but I have no regrets. I'm still very, very happy I did that. So I started mainly weddings. And that's what I was doing on the weekends, especially. So during the week, I was studying a bit of photography by myself, just with books. Oh, by the way, I enrolled Bracknell and Wokingham College. I started the course, but it was a little bit basic, so I wasn't getting a lot out of it. I thought, no, I'm not going to carry on with this. So instead, I just bought books. There weren't so many available tutorials and workshops and stuff like that, like there is nowadays. So you couldn't find so many YouTube tutorials, so people doing masterclasses and workshops and so on. So it was mainly through books. I have an enormous collection of books, and just practicing and taking my friends and my family as guinea pigs and shooting at them. Mainly weddings. So I'm going to try and share my screen. Let's do this. I have a few examples, just so you can see where I started and kind of where I am now. I've just taken random photos of random weddings, so to show you a bit, my journey, so to speak. So this is the glorious first wedding I shot. I now look at this and I cringe inside, because as you can see, lots of like selective color. The lighting was really bad. Just, I don't know, things that back then were cool. And nowadays you think, what was I thinking? So, we all start somewhere. So that's where I started. This was, sorry. I can't do it like that, apparently. So this was the first couple I ever photographed. I really didn't know what I was doing, but they were my friends and I did it for free. So they were happy with the pictures, but it wasn't my finest work. So this is another jewel of that day. To be honest, I did my best. They knew what they were signing up for, so they were happy with that. Because I was in England, this was in 2005, and I came to England in 2004. When I arrived, there's a company that is called Venture. I don't know if any of you know about it, but back then they used to do something similar to this horrible thing. I'm not saying their photos were horrible. I mean that what I did wasn't great, but like super blown out, high contrast, bright color kind of thing. And I gave them this and they liked it somehow. So there we go. This was my second wedding. Again, selective color, as you can see. That was this is in Madrid. Another thing that I realized, now looking back, I was going through these photos, and it's funny how you realize things afterwards. So I had this photo in very dull black and white with the pop of color. Then this picture, which is like kind of sepia, I don't know, something. Then another photo indoors, no white balance correction, everything looks yellow. The lines are wonky, it's not straight. I'm chopping off the dress of the bride. I'm chopping off the cake. What can I say? What can I say? If you're not super confident, please don't shoot weddings. Because anyway, these things happen. In Spain, just a curiosity, in Spain, we cut wedding cakes with a sword, as you can see. Then as my style started evolving a little bit more, I was big into vignetting, as you can see, vignetting and giving the pictures a little bit of like almost ethereal look. So it's not blurry, I don't know, like glowy kind of vibe to it. So again, yeah, this is in Madrid as well, but if you can see, the lines are not straight and there's no details on the dark colors. But again, this was only one of my first weddings I ever did. But you see, always indoors, more tricky, right, than outdoors. Outdoors was all right. And then again, this glowy kind of filter or something, I don't even know what it was. But yeah, there we go. This wedding, I think, is the first wedding that I shot when I started to feel a bit more in control. This was for the couple photo session. We were supposed to be going to this beautiful park with like, it's in Spain as well, like, I don't know, waterfalls and trees and everything. But this was February, doesn't look it, but it was freezing. The week before, there was a massive storm and it completely wrecked the whole park where we were going. So we were just wandering around trying to find a place to take photos. And we found this abandoned house, which isn't much, but the light was so good because the sun was starting to go down. And even though it's still a bit harsh, but I just loved the sharp shadow on that wall. And I think there were squatters inside. So we stopped there and we quickly took some photos. I was very proud. I'm still proud kind of these photos, even though they still have this like glowy thing to them. But yeah, I was quite pleased with these photos. This was the best to me. This photo was, in my eyes, the best thing I had ever done. I was using out of camera flash, bounced off. So I had my husband with me. I had the camera and I had my husband here to the camera right with speed light pointing towards a silver reflector, just like that. So it would just bounce. So I still managed to capture the sunset. I still blown out in here, and I don't know why, super, again, wonky, very diagonal, because I thought that was really cool. So yeah, but I was very proud of this photo and they loved it. And then a few years later, I revisited the photo and I made it straight. I recovered a bit of the clouds in the sunshine, in the sunset. As you can see, I recovered a bit of the blown out sky, a bit more details here and there. So yeah, the before and after, a lot less of the glowy thing. So yeah, let's see. Oh, I also used to do cool stuff like this. Again, I am a creative person, so I wanted to think. So whenever I find a new technique, I have to try it. And I happened to find out how to make this Warhol-looking images at the time that I shot their wedding. So they got this present from me. The other guys got the venture one. These guys got this Warhol kind of thing. Now I wanted to share that I love weddings. I love shooting weddings. It's very stressful because if you mess up, then you mess up. And there's no way to recover that, because after normal photo session, you can just redo. But a wedding, that's it. It's really stressful, but I love it. Usually everyone is happy. Everyone is looking nice and their best. And thanks to that, I've been able to go to many different parts of, I was going to say the world, not really, not just Europe. And beautiful locations and venues. So this was in Valencia in Spain. This bride came in this beautiful, I don't even know what the proper name is. It's like a boat, but it's not a boat. It is a boat, but it's got a name that I can't remember. It's a bit like punting. Is that what you call it? When you push with a stick, something like that. In Valencia. Okay, what else? Okay, let me just. It was a beautiful place. This is called Albufera. It's really nice, really beautiful. And they pay for my flights and for my accommodation and the food and plus my fees, obviously. So I feel really, really privileged that I get to visit these beautiful places. This is here in the UK, as you can probably tell. That's in Seven Sisters. Lovely cliffs. I love them. This was in Spain again. This was in a different part of Spain, Zaragoza. They got married in this castle, which I think it's like a quite modern castle. It's not a proper castle, but look nice. This is a very famous cathedral in Spain. But you see again the glowy, the glowy filter to it. I don't know why. Anyway. This was in Galicia, which is in the north of Spain. I just selected a few. Very green, very like the UK, beautiful manor house in Spain as well, with beautiful views. This is the day that I came to shoot this wedding, because they were going to do it outdoors, but then they changed their mind very last minute. I think they thought it was going to rain, even though it was Spain in the middle of the summer, and it's very rare that it rains, but they decided to change the venue here. It looks a lot later than it actually was. It was pitch dark. It was awful. I was sweating just thinking about, oh my goodness, am I going to mess this up? It was just terrible. So yeah, it turned out okay. It turned out well. These were the couple. Also, it was super dark, and I chose this photo to show you that the bride was wearing a black dress. So black dress in that cave, whatever it was. Let's say it was complicated, and I wasn't allowed to use flash. So that was a fun wedding to shoot. Again, beautiful venues around Europe. This wasn't even a venue. We were walking towards the venue, and this was some sort of like little tunnel, like an underpass, because there was a road over it. But the yellow was so beautiful, and the sun was coming at that angle. I just thought it was perfect. Yellow is my favorite color, so I absolutely loved it. And sometimes in the least expected places is where you get the nicest photos, I think. This is in Valencia as well. Let's see. Oh, this is in Austria. This lovely couple flew me to Austria, and I took the photos there. Same place. Again, this is in Valencia. I tend to shoot a lot of photos in Valencia. I'm not from Valencia, I'm from Madrid. So I don't know. This was like very futuristic, very white, everything white and very, I don't know, I don't know, modern, futuristic kind of venue. It was lovely, very different. This was in France, I think, somewhere in France. The little couple is there. This was in Norway. This lovely couple flew me to Norway, to Stavanger. It was so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. At this point, my daughter was 7 weeks old. We signed a contract for this wedding before I even got pregnant. So let's say it wasn't ideal to shoot a wedding in Norway, again, in the middle of the summer. So there was light until like midnight with a 7-week-old. Nah, it wasn't great, but it was a lovely wedding. This is in London. Oh, this was in Serbia. We did a road trip. Since we're going to Serbia to shoot this wedding, instead of flying, we just took the car with our 1-year-old then and just went camping across Europe until we got to this beautiful rooftop wedding. This is in a different part of Spain. A beautiful, beautiful venue. Oh, there's more. This is here in the UK. A beautiful manor house and orangery as well they had. Oh, this was my favorite. This, probably some of you will know this. It's called Scion Park. I think it's part of Kew Gardens somehow. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a dream of venue. The light is just beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Oh, it was amazing. It was an amazing wedding. And this is what it looks like at night. It was just awesome. This wedding was in a different part of Spain, in Catalonia, near Barcelona. And this couple was really fun because they're both into medieval stuff. And so I don't know if you can appreciate that the groom was wearing like very medieval clothes. Her dress, not so much, I don't know why, but they got married in this beautiful place. It was beautiful place, and the venue, the church where they got married, it was just incredible. The acoustics, everything, but also they decorated everything. I don't know if you can see it, with shields and swords and there we go. They had masks. I don't know, it was just super cool. I loved it. What else? This is in Spain as well, a beautiful venue. I love outdoor weddings. They're lovely. Stavanger again. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, I'm really, really happy that many couples decide to fly me to places. I'm going to Norway next month for another wedding. It'll be my 3rd wedding in Norway. For some reason, again, I have no connections with Norway whatsoever, but hey. So yeah, weddings were blooming at this stage of my career. I had lots and lots of weddings to go and to do. But then, you know, when I had my kids, especially when I had both of them, doing weddings was a bit more difficult because I was breastfeeding both of them, and so I couldn't be away from them for a very long time. So I slowed down the weddings a lot, and I started to do more sessions. So that's not what I really wanted. Apparently this is the first one that we're going to be shown. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I started shooting more sessions. There were some of them were engagement sessions, just couple photo sessions. I live literally 5-minute walk from Swinley Forest, which is a very big forest, and I just love going there and taking people there. We have beautiful trees, beautiful sunsets when it's not raining. So yeah, just love to take the couples there. This was in Henley. Let's see. Oh, this was amazing. This man over here, he lives in the States, and his then girlfriend was living in the UK. So he contacted me to photograph his proposal, but it was a surprise for her. She didn't know anything. So he told her that he got into a draw or something, or some sort of competition, and he won a photo session, but it was in the UK and he would like her to have it. So I met up with her, and so I started taking photos of her just as if it was just a normal photo session for herself. And then we came into this greenhouse. She was facing the other way, so he came sneakily through the plants. And yeah, he flew from the States to propose to her. And I was lucky enough to capture the moment, and it was amazing. They were a beautiful couple. Again, this was in Kew Gardens, and everything was just beautiful and perfect. They got married. She said yes, which helps the situation. I thought this photo was really cool. This is like a structure. I think it's called the beehive. And you can go up inside like they are. So this is the bottom of it. So I just went underneath and I laid flat on the floor, pointing up to the sky. So this is them. I was also doing a lot of maternity photo sessions, different styles, different people. Just I like to shoot natural, candid when possible. This was in milk bath, in the forest. And then naturally, after shooting pregnancies and maternity sessions, then I also started shooting newborns. I did several courses, by the way, very important if you want to shoot newborns, to do safety courses and so on, because the safety of the baby is the priority. Again, I've always been a natural light photographer. That's the first thing I should have mentioned. And so I love the outdoors. So I would just if the weather was okay, I'd take the babies outside and just shoot them outside. I used to also do a lot of newborns just here in my living room, because I didn't have a space to do it anywhere else. Little twins. So yeah, then I do like these kind of setups with the year they were born, the date, the weight, the time they were born, and so on, and just add little things that were meaningful for the parents. The thing with newborn sessions is that they take forever. I've never done a session that was shorter than 3 or 4 hours. Crazy, because you need to wait for the baby to fall asleep, you need to feed the baby and then change the nappy, and maybe they're sick all over your setup, so you need to quickly change everything. So yeah, this was becoming more and more inconvenient for me, because now that I had kids myself, I couldn't always keep my house neat and tidy. Whenever I had a session, I had to rush around like crazy, trying to tidy up quickly as much as I could and make it nice and presentable. Also, inviting people to your house, people you don't know, first of all, it doesn't feel as professional, even if the results were good for them. And also, it was very, very uncomfortable for me. So for a long time, I was a bit stuck, and I didn't know what to do. So let me see what's the next thing that yes. So like I was saying before, I've also done a lot of volunteering. I went to North Macedonia, to shoot for a charity that provides people in need with beehives. and bees, so that they have a way to earn some money and look after their families and so on. I started, I don't know if you know about a project, it's called Humans of New York. Maybe we can talk about it later if you're interested. But I did something similar here in our community. It was called Humans of Newbold, and just basically shooting people, just a portrait of someone, nothing really posed or really fancy, but then they would tell you their story or a part of their story or something interesting about themselves. And I was just posting that regularly so people within the community could get to know each other, things like that. But then my favorite thing to do has always been creative, personal projects. They don't need to be anything massive or super special, but just the tiniest of things would inspire me to take photos. So once I walked past this bush. It didn't have any leaves. It was just red sticks. So I got my poor friend Lore. She is always so willing to pose for me. She's a wonderful illustrator, by the way. So she is self-employed as well. So she's very flexible. So sometimes I call and say, Lore, I found this place. Do you have a red dress? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to see. So then she checks. And if she has something of like a red dress, for example, in this case that I wanted, she will bring it along. Actually, I think this dress was green. She didn't have it, but then I changed the color in Photoshop. No problem. So we did that. Again, oh, Lore, the leaves are so beautiful. Let's go. Can I take some photos of you outside? And when I see the light and the colors, I'm drawn to them, and I just have to do something before they're lost forever, you know. I love autumn, but it also stresses me out because I know eventually the leaves are going to fall and we're going to lose them. So I need to take photos of them. The same now in spring with the blossoms and the flowers and so on. So I found these, I don't know what you call them, feathery plant. And I guess the wind must have knocked them over and they were just lying on the floor and I saw them. So again, I grabbed them, I called my friend and we waited for sunset to take these photos. Again, they're nothing special, but to me they are, because that's what I was feeling in the moment. It's like, oh my goodness, look at the blossoms. We need to take a picture. Do you have a pink top? So then she goes and finds a pink top or the closest that she's got. And we go and we take photos. This photo, because the blossoms were quite high up, we went across the road with a ladder, like literally, well, we had a ladder and one of these wooden steps, like only a couple of steps. So she was on the step and I was on the ladder, so I could be like her eye level. And we just took this photo while the cars were zooming by, thinking we were crazy, probably. Again, this was this last autumn. And again, more leaves. We brought some glue dots and we just glued these leaves together to make the crown. Nothing special, but I don't know, I just loved the light. A random tree that I liked, so she came to the rescue. Again, ferns. I learned this technique to change the color of the leaves without altering the color of the skin too much. So we went to the forest and we tried it out. And then this guy, his name is Owen, and I just randomly found him on Instagram. I don't know how his photo or his video popped up, and I love ginger hair. It's my favorite color. I love ginger people. I love them all. So I searched for his location, and I saw that he wasn't too far away. So I packed up the courage and I sent him a message. And I said, look, I'm a photographer and I really love your hair. And I was wondering if you'd be up for a photo session. And he was lovely. And he said, oh, actually, yes, I've just been approached by this Viking clothing company. And they've asked me if I could have some photos taken with the clothes. So if you want to do that. And I said, yes. So he came and we just had some fun. I don't know if you remember that I told you before that in Spain we cut wedding cakes with a sword. So this is my wedding cake sword. This is the sword. And I said, I think I have a sword. Don't ask me why, but I have a sword at home. And just to make it a bit more, I don't know, butch, I took my belt and I just put it around the handle to make it look a bit more, I don't know, Viking-y, if that's even a word. Again, I just love the way it looks. Yeah, that's in the forest right next to where we live. So yeah, we had a really great day just playing around and taking lovely photos. This is his wife who came along. So I just did something, I don't know, like summer and winter kind of thing. Is this it? Yeah, so this is for my personal projects. So all of this was very well, but I still need a source of income for my family. So what at that time I started following a few photographers who were doing so-called fine art photography. There are two especially that I started following. One is called Paulina Duchman. She is a Polish lady. She's based here up north somewhere. And another lady called Ana Maria Iglesias. She's from Mexico. So when Paulina started offering workshops, I jumped at the opportunity. Terribly expensive, terribly expensive. So I had to wait a couple of years until we saved the money and so on to be able to take one of her courses, but I did. I really liked it, but I wasn't 100%. I think she kept some information to herself. She didn't reveal all the secrets. So no matter how much I was trying and practicing and so on, I still couldn't get the same results as she was getting. So I then, Ana Maria Iglesias, which again, she's from Mexico, but she posted that she was going to be going to Spain to do a workshop there. So then I thought that's my opportunity. She was going to do it in Madrid. So my family is there. I didn't have to pay for accommodation. The flights were very cheap. This was it was February 2020. So it was just before COVID, only just before COVID. So yeah, I went and I took the course and I loved it. And yeah, since then from then I started practicing a bit more of my fine art. Again, my poor friend Lore posing for me. It's a very interesting technique, which I will demonstrate to you later, hopefully. Again, bless her, she's my guinea pig. I had a friend of a friend who is a seamstress, I think. I had an idea in my mind, and I asked her to do this collar thingy that she is wearing. It's not exactly what I wanted because I wanted like tubes, and we couldn't manage. The fabric was like getting flat instead of holding the shape. We tried several things, starching it, putting a structure inside. I don't know, it didn't work, but this is what we got. So we went with that, and yeah, I was actually quite pleased with it. And then I love shooting children with this fine art kind of feel to it. Again, I love ginger people and I love freckles. So this girl, and she has all the attitude in the world, and yeah, it was great. And yeah, more children. This is my daughter. And this is my daughter as well. And just some of them are friends that are modeling for me. Some of them are paying customers. But I've found with fine art that some people are super into it and they think it's amazing. Some people don't like it at all. They say it looks fake, and especially with children, they say it's too dark of a style for children, and children should have a bit more light feel to it. So I guess, yeah, there's different tastes for different things. I love photography, but I completely hate admin. I hate accountancy side of it, the marketing side of it. And this is the one thing at the beginning I said, if I had to start over again, I would do things differently. One of the things that I would do differently is that I would take some sort of business kind of course or marketing course and so on, because my goodness, yeah. I think at least I have concentrated so much on the artistic side of things, doing workshops and courses no end and learning all the techniques. But then actually, if you don't get many customers because you're not great at the business side of things, then let's say it's a very expensive hobby.